till yesterday we were good with the forms and reports, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then today we are going to create the. No, we were supposed to create the master detail forms. So we'll start with master detail. So basically, we'll go when in which scenario we create a master detail is when we are having the parent and a child relationship. That is the primary and the foreign key relationship with a table defined in the database. For those kind of table, we create the master detail database. This forms. So we'll click on this master detail. So if you can see here, there are three different types of uh, uh, designs. That is a stacked one, other is a slide by slide, and the third is a drill down slide. These three is showing is the same feature, but the UI of this would be little bit different. We'll go one by one, and that will help us to understand what this talks about. The first one is a stack, so we are going with the stack. So here they are asking for the page name. This page name is for the master table. Okay, so we can give any page name. It is we don't have any breadcrumb over here as of now, so we haven't selected any of the breadcrumb. Then it is okay. Yeah. Then it's asking me for the region, whatever the region I want to keep it. It from the database it has taken the schema and then the table name. So in our database, as we have seen, we have already these tables DPT and EMP. So I am going to do with this DPT and EMP. So as in master, I have selected DPT. For child, I am going to select employee table. Now in the primary key is asking me a row ID or the or if anything it has. So as I said in Oracle Apex, for any of the report which is dealing with the DML or DDL kind of operation or any foreign key and primary key, the row ID would be there by default. If you want to keep any specific primary key which is already defined in the system, then you can go for that column. I am keeping it as a row ID.
So, Ashish, here one question. So, even though if we have a particular node specific foreign key or primary key, and still if you select the row ID, so it won't, it will not be any difference, right? Or it will be any difference in that.
No. That wouldn't create any difference or any issues at the time of the development, because actually in our database Oracle we also have a row ID, but row ID is not visible to us. Uh, it is just that it is taken care of internally. Internally in the sense from the Oracle database from itself.
It's like pseudo column, so
Yeah, pseudo columns, right. So this is asking me again the detail column region, whatever that we gave previously was for the master detail. This is for the detailed region. That means that was a parent and this is a child. So I am giving a detailed region. Now this is for my EMP table. Again, it asks me the table which I want to link it with. So I am selecting EMP. Okay, by default only you will get this. If the relationship is already defined, you will get that table only. So here by default I'm getting only EMP. It took the row ID, again the primary column as a row ID. This relationship I have to define. If I don't define this relationship, then it will not going to work. So once I click over here, you can see department number is linked to the department number. That means the department of the department number of the department is going to link to my department number of EMP table. This is what it means, my relationship. So I click on OK. Now all these columns I have selected and create. Okay. So first we will see the page and then we will understand the layout. I think here we got this DMP details twice that we don't need it. So we can remove one. Ah, department also came twice. Why like that? These reasons I can see so many.
Okay.
Why? Okay, this here. So the page will look something like this, where we will have the so where we will have the department in the top and corresponding to those the result of that at the down. So once we click on that particular department, we will able to get what all the results is linked to that. Again, this is the editable where I can edit the I can edit my records as well. So I can also add it from in the department and as well the corresponding in my employee table and save it. So save button is here.
I
Edit
mean,
will
Ashish, sorry. So here for the sales department, so these are the employee details you need to see, right?
correct. So for department number 30, these are the employees that has been associated.
Okay.
If I click on something else like operation, these are my employees that has been associated. So for operation, nothing is there. So no employee is coming. So if I click on research and then take this, these are my employee that has been linked to research. If you click both, if you click two or three departments at a time, you will not get any result because this works as a single one-to-one mapping, where where you have to only where you have to only select at one at a time the department. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question here.
Yeah. Please tell me.
In the fact one, the one that you showed, uh, suppose say like, I have a one more level, like, above the department, like, organization. Say like, there are two or three organizations. So I have an organization. For each organization, there is a department and then the corresponding employee. So master, child, child. Can I have
Okay.
that? Can I have that?
Got it. No, for that scenario, we have to do a custom parent and child relationship form. We cannot go for this inbuilt because whatever the inbuilt functionality of child and parent we have, that is only one parent and one child, not parent, child, or two
Oh,
parent, one child.
okay.
Yeah.
But you say that it is possible through a custom.
Yes, absolutely. It is possible. It is possible.
Okay. Do you think we will be covering that, or I have to try on my own?
If you want to cover for that particular scenario, I can cover that, not an issue. I can create a table with parent, child, and I can show you with that example.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Let me do
Thank
that.
you.
I will create a table for tomorrow, and I will show you that one.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so this was one of the UI of master detail, how it looks. That was stacked. There are two more examples. I'm going to say two more UI of the same master detail. That is one slide by slide and the other is a drill down. Slide by slide is we really don't go by slide, but that is fine. I will show one more as a drill down. Okay, so again the same. It is asking me the master page number. The master page number is 9. My drill detail page number is 11. Okay. master page name could be department master, and my detail page name would be EMP detail. So Chandra, if you see here, if we Prashant, if we could create from the inbuilt, we should have a functionality where I can give my detail page number as 2. Means 11 would be my detail number and 12 also could be my detail number. But I don't have the facility here to do that, where I have a
Okay.
master
Yeah.
and two details. But I will show you that one after creating a table how it is possible.
Okay.
Basically,
Yeah.
nothing but we will be what will be we will just link this column, this row ID or this row selector with the other, and we will make this dynamic. Actually, that is possible from dynamic action. So what that the dynamic action what that will do as soon as I am selecting this, that will invoke my next row here, and this row is going to invoke my third row in the down. So that is what
Okay.
I will do. So that's why. So we have given the details of master and parent. I am selecting my table, that is department. And again, the primary key has been taken as a row ID. My order of navigation would be my from the department number. That means if I select department number, that should navigate, means that should go to the detail page. Okay, so I am selecting my department number as a navigator. That is what it is actually telling me. Okay, then we have the child details here, where we are going to select the child table, that is nothing but only MP. Okay. And then it came the primary column as it is. The relationship between is the department number is to the department number, and I click on create. Okay. Okay. Last time I didn't go to the page form. We'll go to that. See, here I have selected my department number as a navigation. So it came, this is nothing but my department number, but this as in pencil icon. We have the department table result over here. When we click on this, it's going to drill down to the detail of the department to the employee. That is why it told me drill down report. When I am clicking here, it says me this department number is 10. My department name, whatever it is, location is this. These are the employees for the department number 10 that I have. So in the front screen, I could only see the summary of the departments. When I click on that, I have drilled down and came into the detailed for this department as well as the employees table which has been tagged to that. Here is the same thing. I can add a row. So if I add a row, that is going to add for the my department 10. Okay. And if I want to add for a specific department, I have to go back here and then I have to add the department, a new department altogether. Okay. Once I am into this page and I want to go from my department 10 to 20, I have to click here. So it went to my department 30 with the department 30 details and then the corresponding employee table details for my department 30. So this is about the all about the master detail form.
So under action table, so it's the same.
Action thing is the same. Action thing is again the same. That is nothing but the sun interactive whatever we have seen in the interactive report, where we have filter, data format, selection, charts, and so on and so forth.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. Now let us go back to the page. Uh, Now we will see for one of the plugins how we can install plugins into our system and how we can use it. Okay, I'm going to use one simple plugin just to demonstrate example how that we can do. So plugin. So first of all, we'll so first of all, we have to install this plugin into that particular application that we want to use it in our application. Okay, and then that plugin could be either for a region or that could be for an item or that could be for some action that would be a specific when we install our plugin into a system that gives me the particular type of what plugin I am going to use. Okay, so I have something in my system to use is like I am going to use icon picker plugin, but let me first go and install this plugin. Okay, this is the site for this Oracle Apex where all the plugins that we can see here that is the trusted one. That is like it is not trial and test. This is like 100% that is going to work in the Oracle Apex with the versions. So it is not with a specific version. This is going to work with any other version. So this is basically the site where you can find all the plugins.
So what are all these plugins used for mostly in the regular day?
So yeah, that is what Prashant. So when we go to that particular plugins and we require, so it depends like what plugin we want for our system. Uh, and these are all like enhancement that is there in Oracle Apex. So if you can see from the name here itself, it is a waterfall diagram demo application. So if you want to create our page, something with the water flow diagram. So if you can see the diagram, so if you want to do it something like this, then I am going to no need to write the code again. It's already there in the plugin. So I am going to just install it and So likewise, we have many plugins here. We have a dynamic action. We have address picker, highlight charts. So once you are going to that, you can understand. You will know what all this. So you can see just giving the name of that area got highlighted. So this is the address picker of that. So uh, this is something like address one, and then we have the highlight that I was telling you here. So this is something like a chart where we want to highlight a particular value for our chart that is going to highlight. So this is something like highlight. So likewise, we have so many uh, plugins over here. The total plugins is 230 plugins that we have actually in our system, in the Oracle Apex system, which
So
we
these plugins, like we so suppose if I am using this Oracle Apex in my production environment or my development environment at my company, I should build an application and then download the plugins that I want to use it in my application, right?
I am going to show it, Prajan. Don't worry. I am going to install a plugin. I will show you in the application how we can use it.
Okay.
I am just taking a simple one. This is just an icon picker. You can see from the text box itself, they are taking, they are clicking on this icon, and from there they can see what all the icons there is. So first of all, whatever the uh, plugin we want to do it, we want to install it, we have to download it. The download, you can also download it from the GitHub or directly we have the download over here. So once you download, we can see the download would be there in the system. So we have to open it. We have to extract this file. Okay. So this is the same. So once I install it, we have to always import in our system .sql file. So we need to see where is that .sql file. That SQL the installation of the SQL file could be sometime directly from here in the outside of the class, or that could be inside the plugin class. So if you can see here, this is the SQL file. This SQL file is nothing but the code, the SQL code that they have written for that plugin. So this is what is the component that they have used, and this is what the code that they have written. Okay. This is again a big code that is there. If we want to go through it, if you want to go, we can go. But this basically the plugins that is there. We directly go and use it. So once we are able to download it in our in the system, then we'll go to our application. Suppose this is our application. We will go to the shared components. As I said, the plugin will be always there in my shared component. So I go to my shared component. I have something in the as in plugin. So I have to click in my plugin. So in the plugin, whatever the plugins that we have installed, we can see it here. How to import this plugin is we have to click on this import a plugin. It will ask me to choose a file. I'm choosing the file. That the file is same again, the .sql file whatever we have got from the plugin. I selected it, open, it got selected. The type is plugin, so my file type I am not changing it to anything. It is by default plugin because as I came to the navigation from plugin, and this should be always Unicode UTF-8. This is nothing but the encrypted language in which the Oracle Apex will understand. That's it. Okay. Then I will do next. It says me the file has been imported successfully. If you want to install it, it is just imported. That means it has just validated in the Oracle Apex system whether this plugin is going to work or not. It is going to work. That is why this export has been done successfully. Otherwise, we will get an error here itself that this import file is not going to work. Yeah, this application will not run like that. Okay. When we click on next, it says me what is the name of the plugin, that is the icon picker. The internal name is this, and it in which application is going to be installed. The application is going to be installed in my April training. Okay. I Yesterday I have installed some of the plugin just to understand which is better, which would be easy. So that is why it's saying me the existing plugin in the application will be replaced. If I keep into the new one, it will not say me the same thing because it is a new plugin. So plugin is going to be created in my application or whatever this other application is there. Okay. So I am going to keep it into the existing application that I am working on now. So it says me the existing plugin in the application will be replaced, and then I will click on install plugin. So confirm, yeah, replace. In the new, it will just click on that and just change it. So here is my dialog cancel button text. If you want to change the text, you can do it. If I don't want to change it, it is fine. Apply changes. Now my plugin is getting installed into my system. Now this is the plugin that has been already installed in my system. Okay. How I can confirm it? I'll go to my shared component. I'll go to my plugin and I will see in my repository the plugin is there or not. I can see the icon picker plugin is there in my system. Okay. Now, what is this plugin? This plugin is nothing but it is a type of an item. Okay, like the similar ways. If you download any plugin, you have to understand from this type what kind of plugin it is. That it is either a region plugin or an item plugin or an dynamic action plugin or an workspace plugin. That means what? This means like this plugin I can use it while if I am creating an item. If this says if it is an action or if it is an workspace or something different, so forth and so on, then when I create those kind of regions like attributes, I can use this that plugin at that time only. Okay. Now when I am going to my application, and if I want to use this plugin and want to see what this plugin is all about, I will go to any of the page. Okay, let's not consider this. I am just going to create in the down. So it says me that was an item plugin, and that item what used to do, that is icon. So if I am creating any icon, I think I will get the icon for that item. Okay. I am clicking, creating a new region itself, plugin. This was just an region. Now I am going to create a item. So once I am clicking creating this item, I can see, if you see in this drop down previously when we have seen all this icon picker plugin didn't came over here. Now I can see this icon picker plugin. This is nothing but whatever the plugin that we have installed just now. So similarly, this was an item, that is why it came in an item when I'm creating. If it would be a region, at creating on the time of the region, the types we can see there. For an for an dynamic action creation of that time, we can see this plugin. And so I am taking this plugin as of now. My label would just be icon. It is just an label that I am keeping. Is giving me, it's already in the plugin, it has been already configured with a dialog width of 600 and 800. If we want to change it, we can change it, otherwise we can ignore it. By default it is a optional floating. I am just going to keep it as an optional, the template. That's it. I save it, I run it. Okay, I can see this is my plugin and this is my text item icon, and here is the plugin. So this is what this, when we create a item, we will not get this. So this came from the plugin itself. And what is this? When we click over here, we can get all the icons here. See, we can see so many icons here that we want to select. That is already present. So on clicking of any of that, this is going to take, this is going to save that same icon in my database. So that is what this is, this plugin was about. So similarly, if you want to do any of the if you want to download any plugin and use it, we have to do like similar wise. This is what about plugin. Yeah.
So I'm confused actually. We created a form and then created a page actually. So and then added a region called plugin, and then we created an icon, and then that is our type item, and then so you select one of the icons, then it is saved to the database. So what is that we are going to, how is it that going to be useful for anybody saving an icon to the database?
Okay, this is just an example that we showed for this icon. Maybe it is not required for us, but maybe for some other different scenario it would be required. Now this is just an example for with the icon, but it is not like we have to. There are many different plugins that we can use that is useful as well. So something like Google Map, we don't have a Google Map functionality in our Oracle app, so we can use this API directly from the plugin. So similarly, wise, that was just an example. So it is there may be a scenario where they want to use this icon directly from the text item. That is why they've created a plugin. Otherwise, there was no use of creating this. as
Yeah.
as it says like Apex month year item pickup. If we have seen month year item pickup, which would be uh, easy for us to navigate. So if I download this and do the same thing, it would be the same. And here I could select my year, month, date like that, and then I can keep the fields, means field keep the date field however I want.
Suppose say like let us if we are just trying to use this plugin say for Google Maps. So all I need for the Google Maps is like a address on my phone. So how am I going to use it? Like I can just design a page where I and let the user enter the address and then provide them a link calling this plugin to show me the map.
Yeah, correct. So all you have to do it is you have to first download this. You have to map it into the correct attribute. It could be an item or it could be again I am telling a region plugin. So we have to map it with that item or that region, whatever the plugin we have installed it correspondence, and then that plugin we can see it in our front end screen.
So if I have this Google Maps over here, so let me to show me to show the map. Let me we have to pass some parameters to the Google Map. Let me the address, right?
I guess here for this Google map, we need to have the map first, and it is just giving us this latitude and the longitude. So the map already should be there. Okay, if you see this demo, you will get to know what this Google map is actually doing it. So if we see this, wow, wow, wow. Okay, so if you see this, what they have done it. This is not loading correctly. This demo is not uploaded correctly over here. But from this page, what we can make out is, see here we have some name. So they have given the name of the person. They are giving some icon. The icon would be that plus button. Whatever we are seeing this plus button they are importing, and this is the address. This is the longitude and this is the latitude that they are giving from themselves, means that they are keeping it from their side. Once they are able they once they are giving this item longitude and latitude, then in the map they are able it is going to appear something like that, this. So when so as we can see from this plugin, this is an item plugin. So we are going to once we are importing this, when we are creating on this item, we have to create this item as in this plugin. So here in this item plugin, we are going to give this latitude and longitude, and when we run the page, I think we are able to see the icon something like this. This is what about the Google Map API is.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we have to pass on the parameters, correct parameters.
Right, right.
But is that not going to be a REST API calling a Google Map?
Yeah, yeah, I am there in the Google Map API.
So is it not actually a REST API that we have to call? Like, we
No,
cannot create.
I don't think this is a REST API, because you can see it is just an API, and that is an item. If you see here, if it is an item plugin, then this cannot be a REST API.
Okay.
So while we are doing, so if you install 2 to 3 means, if you do one also, you will have a better picture. See, when we download this API, it is not like uh, uh, there could be some scenario where we have downloaded the API, but we cannot understand what this API is just all about. So we have here help as well. That is the README. Here that will tell what this API is actually doing and what is the use of the API. If you see this, this is the so again this is a demo. You can leave it. This is the fixes, how we have to install it, how we have to test it, and which all the version it is going to support. So basically, it is like from the requirement, whatever we want, we have to just download that API, what we are looking for. It,
Go back to that Google Map API.
haha, yeah, yeah, sure, yeah.
What is that demo there?
This demo is, that is what we just understood from this API what they are trying to do. See, from this
Okay,
API,
okay, yeah,
this
okay, got it.
this was not loaded, but from here we can understand that whatever the item we have to create, that should have a longitude and latitude, and
Okay,
by
yeah,
giving this, only this map would be appearing.
okay.
So that is the demo for the plugin that is there.
Okay. Can we use this calendar? We have another plugin for calendar, actually.
Yeah, 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 sure, sure. I have download. I guess. Let me go to that. Yeah, this one. This is what I was talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
I think I have just downloaded this. Okay, let me unzip. Okay, this is the Apex month. Let me just unzip this one. Okay, so I have just downloaded this API, and if I can see, I don't have my SQL. Okay, it is here. Let me install this. I'll go to my application. I have a JSON file here as well, so do I need to import my JSON file also? Oh, this is nothing. Okay. I go to my shared component. I click on plugin. I click on import, choose file. I will take my plugin,
And that is a conflict.
that is icon picker. Date. I installed my plugin into my application. Okay, and I can see my application. This is again in an item plugin. So I go to back to my application. I create a page. I have already have one here. So now I will create one more item. Create item. This item is again a plugin, but with a date. Now let me select this plugin. I can select my plugin. I can see my plugin here is a month, year picker, whatever the plugin I have downloaded just now. Let me take this plugin and I am going to again move it floating to optional and I save it and I run it. Leave. I want to see my changes. Now I can see my my plugin has been installed. Open month chooser so I can see my year. I can go back to 2020, back. So if I select any year, I think I will get my month. After getting my month, if I click, I can see that month and that year.
Okay.
So this is what this is how the plugin works.
Yeah, this is a good example, easily understandable.
Okay. I just took this for I just saw this and took it.
This is,
But okay, okay. So this is what how the plugin works. That's it. So one more thing, like when we are importing our application from one instance to the other instance, as these are from in the shared component, if so, at the time of the export to the new instance, we have to no, this plugin would be taken care from itself, from its own. We need not to install these plugins again to the next server or from the other server. If we are importing any icon in this application and if you want to see the same icon to the other server, then we have to import that icons again from the previous server to the other server. Are you getting what I'm telling? What I'm trying to tell is in this application, in this application, in my shared component, I have now three plugins. Okay, when I am going to export, suppose I have used this plugin for one of the item. When I'm going to export my application from one server to the other server, then this is taken care internally. No need to do any change. No need to import the file again, this plugin file again from this application, from this server to the next server where I am keeping. I am into dev to stage or stage to prod, anything. But here, if I am keeping any specific icon, that icon could be anything, that logo of a company or any specific, and if I migrate the application from one instance to the other instance, at that time, I have to import the icon also. I have to import the icon separately.
okay, so now, one question here is, like, by any company normally, like, they may have multiple applications,
Multiple.
right? So, like, one for finance department, one for customer care, and then one for the logistics team and all.
Okay.
Suppose, suppose say, like, there are some plugins uh, that I downloaded
Okay.
uh, that can be used in almost all of these applications. Do I have to uh, do that, to download it for each and every application, or can I have one common library for the entire company and then share these plugins across my application?
Okay, to answer your question, if we go to the app builder, that is a starting. We don't Okay, we don't have anything as a shared component. See, this is a workspace. Inside this workspace, we have our application. These are my application. So here I don't have anything as a shared component or anything which is going to use for all these things. Inside my application only I have a shared component. So
Or,
I have to install separately for all the applications.
okay.
Yeah. Any questions, Chandra?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so we have gone through the plugin as well. Now we are going through charts. So we have different kind of charts here. We have these many charts you can see in our screen. We have bar chart, pie chart, polar chart, pyramid chart, area chart, bar chart, sorry, box plot, what all the things. These are the kind of chart we have to do. We have only thing for all these charts we have to understand is we have two axes. One is the x-axis and otherwise is the y-axis. This x-axis and y-axis only we need to understand. You need to understand what value you want to keep into the x-axis and what value you want to keep into the y-axis. That's it. If we are if we are clear with this, our chart would be ready. Okay. We are just going through one bar graph now. Okay. So it's asking me first the table. So I will take the table as department because here I have department value as 10, 20, 30. That is why I am taking this one. Okay. So what I want to show is in my label column and what I have value. So in the label column, I want to go with the department number, and for the value, no. For my label column, I want to go with my department name, and in the value column, I want to keep as a department number. Okay. So we can see our graph something like this, where we have the department number. Department number is 10. Okay, my department number is 20, 30, 40. It is just an example where my values, whatever the values I had, I just kept it like that. Okay, so this is how the bar graph is about. So it just came up with the values, and I have my sales research team over here. I had my operation number which value was 40, so it came up to the top. In the sales, I have my department number as 30, so it came to here. In the research, I had my department number as 20, so it came like that, and so on. So this was just an example for the bar graph. We'll go more detailed with the graph. Basically, I need to have some values in my table which will demonstrate me the bar correctly, like more perfectly. So I'll try to do that today, and tomorrow we can go through the graphs. Okay.
Okay. So,
Any questions or anything as of now?
no, I think tomorrow like you will be doing more of this graph and also the parent child.
Okay, okay, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, yeah. Sure, sure. No problem. We can go through that parent child tomorrow. I'll try to create some records where I can go for a parent child one, and
Okay.
then we can go through that because we need to have a table structure as well for that, right? Because for 10 we should
Exactly.
we
Yeah.
cannot just create the form like that. Sure. So I'll create a table today, and I'll try to uh, I'll try to do one example with that.